Often, a virus or malware will change your default search engine to homepage. They do this to manipulate your web experience. Sometimes you recognize that this has happened, and you may search for an antivirus program, but you'll find that it yields something that appears to be legitimate, but is just another piece of malware. So one of the first steps we might want to try is to put back on a legitimate search engine. And the first thing that I would do is I would go to the control panel and remove all toolbars and search engines that I don't recognize. So I'm going to go to Start and click on the control panel. Then under Programs, I'm going to click Uninstall Program. And I'm going to search through here. I personally don't like any toolbars unless you have a preference for a particular toolbar, or you find that you use it a lot and you just can't get rid of it. I would delete anything that says toolbar in this list. Next thing I would do is I delete anything that says search engine. There's no program. You don't need a program to do a search engine. They're kind of built into the browser. So delete anything that you see with search engine or search or toolbar. And go ahead and delete those. Since I don't have anything in here I don't really want, I'm going to go ahead and close this. And we're going to move on to Internet Explorer and look at managing the search engines. So on Internet Explorer, this little button up here is the Settings button. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and then click on Manage Add-ons. And then under here, under Search Providers, I'm going to look at the different search providers. Now I have 3 search providers in here: Bing, Google, StartPage. Other search providers that you might see in there might be Yahoo, perhaps Ask. If you see anything in there that you don't recognize, go ahead and delete it. Now this start page here is something that's a little bit interesting, and I'll explain why I have that in there. One of the things that I like about Start Page is they claim not to track anything you do on the internet. In fact, they don't store anything that you do. So if a government or a company wants access to your data, they don't have it because they're not storing it. They're able to do this because they're not a US-based company. They're based out of the Netherlands. One of the things the US search engines do, and this might not necessarily be a bad thing, but is they build profiles on you. They can look at your computer and where you're coming from, your internet address, and they can be very specific, and they can target just you. And they build profiles on you that they perhaps will sell to an advertiser. You can, if me as Moapa Valley Telephone, I can be very specific in those people that I want to target for advertising if I wanted to use Google to advertise to maybe increase my business. As a business owner, this is a good thing. However, I also personally believe that this type of data can be misused in the hands of wrong people. So just something to be aware of. Now, if you wanted to add Start Page to your as a search provider, you can go down here and click on Find More Search Providers, and this will pop up another window. And then you see these different search providers. You see Bing, Google, Yahoo. And then one of the things on here is there's Start Page. iXQuick is Start Page is owned by iXQuick, so they're both the same. So you can go ahead and click on those, and then I'll go ahead and add it for you. But since I've already got Start Page on here, I'm not going to add it. Say maybe I want to add Ask. We'll go ahead and add Ask. So we're going to add it to Internet Explorer. I don't want to make it my default, so we'll just click Add. And now Ask should show up in my list. Probably need to close this and reopen it so it shows up. So we'll go ahead and do that. Manage add-ons, search providers, and there's Ask. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Next thing we're going to do is learn how to change the home page. We go up here and click on the Settings button, and then we go to Internet Options, and there's your home page. Now I was playing around and I changed my home page to Yahoo. I want to change it back to MVDSL, so I'm just going to erase everything before the www or after the www, type mvdsl.com, and then click OK. Now if I go ahead and click this home button, of course I was already on MVDSL, but it's going to bring up MVDSL. Next, we'll close out Internet Explorer and move on to Firefox. We'll open up Firefox. Now, Firefox is really easy to change your search engine provider. You can see this is my search box. My default search engine provider is Google. I click here on the drop-down button, and I can go down here to manage search engines. And anything in there I see that I don't want, I can delete. See, maybe I didn't want Amazon, I go over here and click remove, and it would remove. If I wanted Yahoo to be my default, I would move it up to the top of the list and it would be my default. But I want Google to be my default, so I'm going to move it up and leave it as it is. But if there's anything in here you don't recognize, go ahead and delete it. I think these are just the defaults that come with Firefox, so they're probably okay. Next, we're going to look at changing the home page. Once again, this is pretty easy. Go up here to Tools, Options. You want to make sure you're clicked on the General tab, and right there's the home page. Just change it to what you want it to be and click OK, and your home page is changed. Then you go over here and click on Home, and it should show your home page. Finally, Google Chrome. Google Chrome's a little bit tougher to do this stuff, but it is doable. Up here, this little box up here is where your settings are. So we're going to click on it, then we're going to click on Settings, and then we're going to over here is Search. And remember, I talked about Start Page. I've added Start Page as my default search engine, but I can go over here to Manage Search Engines, and there's the different search engines I have. I have Google. Say maybe I will make Google my default. Now Google's my default. One of the tricky things is adding a new search engine. Now, if I wanted to add Start Page, I put Start Page, startpage.com, and then I looked up the Start Page website address, which just happens to be https www.startpage.com. And in order to make it your default, you have to have this equals % s at the end of it. You'll see Bing has that. And if you could see Yahoo, and Google would have that too. But you have to have that on the end in order to make that the start. That's what it's kind of makes Google Home kind of complicated to change your search engines. Well, once you're done, you go ahead and click Done. See, now Google's my default. And now to change my home page, I go here to where it says Open a specific page or set of pages on Startup. Now I can set my pages right here. You can see my one is nvdsl.com. If I wanted to set something different, I could go ahead and click X, remove it, and then I could add it. I'm going to go ahead and add nvdsl.com back, and then click OK, and that's my home page. So nvdsl will now start every time I start Google Chrome. Thanks for your attention. Goodbye.